Now, I've talked about the production issues that's been going on with Just Because for a few weeks now, but I got some more information on what's going on. This is what I've been hearing on Reddit, on Twitter, places like that, and based on the quality of the episode in last week's episode in terms of the presentation, not the storyboards or just like the story of characters, just like the overall production quality, you can definitely see like these rumors are starting to seem true. Now, what I learned is that apparently, before episode 1 dropped, when episode 1 was released, the storyboard for episode 8 wasn't even completed, which isn't a good sign. And the reason this isn't a good sign is because typically, most of the storyboards would have been completed or would have been at least outlined before this show started production, or before first episode got dropped, because if we don't have episode 8 storyboard done until closer to episode 8, how is episodes 9, 10, 11, and 12 going to be made on time? Because it's not like everyone in this anime studio at Pine Jam works episode to episode. Some people work on episodes ahead while others are working on the newest episodes. So it does leave me very, very worried for the future of this show, because I don't want to see the Kekai Sensen treatment where the last 3 episodes or whatever aren't released until 6 months down the line because the studio has to move on to a different project because they couldn't finish the episodes on time. And that's what it feels like could happen to this show. Now, I saw some people on Reddit and just other forum posts saying that this episode looked absolutely horrible. That's complete over-exaggeration. The episode looked okay. It wasn't great, wasn't amazing. It did have a lot of noticeable issues, a lot of the details on just shots that should have been at least more polished than they were, but the episode was still viewable. It wasn't like it was just outlines and just blobs. It still looked fine, but with all the new information that keeps coming out, with the director apparently not finishing the storyboards on time, to now knowing that episode 8 storyboard wasn't completed when episode 1 was released, I'm just crossing my fingers that this show completes on time. I am fine if this has major animation and art issues. I am perfectly okay if they have to cut corners in every single episode going forward, as long as they can finish it, because I don't want to see that Kekai Sensen treatment where they have to move on because they gotta pay the bills and they're not going to be able to carry their show over into the next season. A different show will take their spot on TV. I don't want to see that happen, but I'm getting worried that it's going to, but only time will tell. But even with all that said, I still love this episode. Now, I see a lot of people really criticizing the presentation of this episode, and it's not perfect. It has its issues, but I don't think it was anything worse than what we saw last week with, apparently that episode I think was outsourced to a different company. And it did have its issues, but it did still look good at certain scenes. But at the end of the day, this wasn't like a groundbreaking episode either. It wasn't like really feeling like it was trying to be flashy. It was kind of that episode that made me remember that this was a high school series, because I actually forgot for a little bit because we weren't really focusing on the high school element of it that much. After their little break, everyone's kind of back in school and you're seeing the fallout from all the characters, with the relationships kind of in a messy situation. Haruto pretty much wanting to give up baseball, just all the individual characters with their all little drama issues. It was kind of like breaking and mending the group back to a kind of stable situation. So episode 6 forward will hopefully be able to see Haruto with his crush, maybe mend the bonds, get a bit more information on why she declined him. It was kind of just a spur of the moment thing, but also she's not going to be in this town after school's over, so can she really have that boyfriend? And all the little things like that. It was a fine episode. I think this is one of the weaker Just Because episodes, but it was still a very enjoyable episode, production issues and all. I still had a fun time watching it. It's just in the back of my mind, I am so worried that this series won't get finished. Like, it will get finished. It's not like the episodes will just cease to exist, but if Kekai Sensen was any indicator, they can go very much down the line, and I really don't want to see that happen. But overall, Just Because, like, if it wasn't for all these production issues, I probably wouldn't even make a video on this. I just really want to touch upon that because it's such an interesting and also kind of very scary topic for this series. But I've been enjoying this a lot. I really think that this anime original idea, it's kind of taking the ideas that make these kind of high school stories work, but implementing them in a very real way, and I want to see this succeed. I want to see Pine Jam excel at this show, because even though Pine Jam is a newer studio, they're doing good work here. Last season with Gamers, this season with Just Because. I think they have a wide range that they can hit. It's just they gotta get their feet on the ground a bit sooner and get these episodes a bit more finished before everything starts airing. But really, it's gonna be interesting to see where the show's gonna go. I really did enjoy this episode, even though it's one of my least favorite episodes. I still had a smile on my face watching it. There is a lot more noticeable dips in the quality of it, but still, as long as the story and the characters and that voice acting just continues to be on point like it has been, I don't give a shit if this is stick figures at the end of the day. Well, maybe not stick figures, but close to it, to be honest. It's just a worrisome thing right now, because I really want to see this excel, but time will tell. Overall, this was really just mending everything from last week. This was more of a kind of, it almost felt like a setup episode for next week, because we have everything kind of like seemingly going back to a normal situation, but there still is that that element of drama still lingering in the background, and you know things aren't going to stay perfect. There is going to be more fallout as the show goes on, but only 5 weeks in and we're already starting to see some stuff like this happen. All I hope is if they need breaks, if they need recap episodes, they do it and they don't majorly destroy the quality of these episodes. I just hope this succeeds. But let me know your thoughts. What are you thinking of the episode? I know it had some issues with the quality, but what are you thinking of the future of this show? Do you think this will succeed? It'll have its full run. It won't go the Kekai Sensen route where we don't see the last 3 episodes until months down the line? Or do you think this series is doomed to fail with all the news that's been going around, with all the production issues, with the director not getting the storyboards done, to the team just not having time to finish these episodes? What are you thinking? Because honestly, my mind, best case scenario, some of these episodes will get outsourced to different companies and everything will just get finished. Maybe it'll be a little sloppy, but that's best case scenario in my mind. But hopefully we get best case scenario, because the anime industry is an overworked and underpaid industry, so who the hell knows what's going to happen. But let me know your thoughts. What are you thinking of this overall, and how did you enjoy the episode? Let me know. And before I leave, smack that like button, share your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.